Yeah, so last week was probably our last hard week, really hard week of the year, and they approached it really well. We had some really good results. We capped it off on Saturday. We were able to get over to Houghton High School and use that new facility they have over there, so that's really nice. And I think for the most part, mentally, the kids are really excited to get to race. So there's always that battle between anxiety and excitement, and I think most of them are all pretty excited. So really looking forward to this opportunity this weekend. We told them to be boring, to live like a clock, and we've been saying, if you live boring for the next 2 weeks, you can be really exciting on race day. So really trying to minimize falling behind in classes, trying to minimize stressful environments, trying to stay healthy with the weather kind of going back and forth here, whether it's just getting extra hour of sleep, a good meal in them. We're just making sure that what we can control as coaches is not going to hinder the athlete's success on race day. So as of right now, we're in a pretty good spot. Looking forward to Saturday. It shows that the women are getting respected from other coaches, which is nice. It's a good compliment from other coaches in the region, but it doesn't mean a whole lot. If we finish fourth at the regional meet, we're probably not making the national meet, and that's our goal. So we want to be in the top 3, and I think on the women's side, we're capable of being in the top 2 at the region. So we got some really good athletes, and they're running their best workouts and best races when the time matters now. So I really think without looking too far into the regional rankings, other than it's a compliment to our program, we got to make sure that on race day we're competing to be the number 1 team, not the number 4 team. The up and down, I think, comes in the results and the competition that we've gone up against. I think individually, if we looked at each of the men runners individually, they've gotten better. It's just we got to really come together as a group of 5 at least on race day. So we've had 4 guys show up every race, but then that 5th, that final score for us has been a little bit of a weak spot. So training again with them has been going really, really well, but it's going to come down to the mindset and kind of the preparation that they have mentally to see how far they can go at the conference meet and then at the regional meet. So we still have the same goals we did last year for them, and we want to improve upon last year's results even without a handful of guys. So they've embraced that, and I think they're also up to the challenge of achieving those goals. Yeah, I do on the women's side for sure. I think with the 12 women that were racing, any combination of the 7 of them could be our regional squad. So on the men's side, we're pretty set with our top 7, and then there's a little bit of a fall off there. But again, it's so tough to try to predict in this sport because you have to do it on the day at the time. So anything, any small variable can become a big variable on race day if we don't address it ahead of time. So, but again, if we can just keep the excited and fun environment that we've had just the last 10 days, that's going to be huge. I mean, we've got kids, laughing in practice and in a good way, and just really looking forward to being able to toe the line with their teammates. And I think as a team, we've finally been able to kind of gel together on both sides where everybody knows the expectations from one another and that we have a bigger goal. It's not just runner number 1 going out there and trying to do it for them. They're actually going to compete now for the name on the front of the jersey, which is pretty exciting. Yeah, as of right now, the weather looks like it is here today. So like high 40s, cloudy, little overcast. So for us, it's going to be perfect. It might feel a little warm. So we're hoping that the rain can hold off because that course does get sloppy if it's a little wet. And again, we've ran in mud for the last 3 to 4 weeks. But again, just to limit the variables for everybody. You don't really practice falling in practice. So the course is fast. It's flat. There's one small hill in there, and it's a really good spectator course. We'll be able to see the runners just about the whole time. So it's going to be a little nerve-wracking for me to be able to see the whole race unfold. But I think, again, our women being able to have the line of sight with the Grand Valley runners that are most likely going to be ahead of them and be able to chase them down is going to be a pretty good motivating factor for them. And then on the men's side, it's a 4-team race for 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th place at this race. So being able to see everything in a wide open environment is going to be pretty nice, and it's going to feel small compared to the races that we've been to. There's only 11, 12 teams in the GLIAC meet right now, and I think Lewis had over 20, GLIAC had over 20, Michigan State had over 20 teams. So hopefully the big environments that we've been exposed to this year make this one feel small, and that we're in control of what we can do. Yeah, I think we'll run the course on Friday and be able to see if there's a super muddy spot or a puddle or things like that. If there was snow, that would change everyone's race approach, and I think ours right now is just to get out there and expect anything. I don't think taking a specific race approach is a very smart thing to do, especially with our kids. Rather just have them go out there and be able to make their own decision, because that's the one that they're going to believe in the most, rather than me trying to micromanage a whole race for them. So a little bit of wind, everyone's got to run in it. A little bit of rain, everybody's got to run in it. I think our kids are as tough as anybody else, given what we have to train on up here with our awesome trails. We've had winters up here with most of our returners, so I don't think any weather factor is going to really get into their heads at all.